Hello everyone, welcome to Escoffier Online. My name is Chef Caesar. Today I'm going to be making for you some breakfast sausage. Actually, I'm going to be doing some patties this morning. I got some nice pork shoulder here. I like to grind my own meat. If you have a butcher where you go to, you can ask him to do that for you. But if you have a mixer, a grinder attachment, you can do your own. I like to do that because I know it's fresh. And like I said, I got a nice piece of pork shoulder. As you can see, it has some fat in there. And I'm going to leave it in there because you want to have a little fat to keep the meat nice and moist. Also, it's going to give more flavor. So I'm going to put this aside for right now. I'm going to start by cooking some of my onions here. I got some minced onions here. I'm going to be sauteing a little bit with some garlic. So I add a little oil to my pan. That way they can start to cool down while I'm grinding the meat. Okay, so. And when you mince the onions, you want to drain the water. So I kind of strain this through a sieve. I push all the all the liquid through. That way it's nice and dry. It's not too moist. So when you saute them, there's not going to be a lot of liquid in there. And I don't want to give them a lot of color. So I'm just going to sweat them a little bit. And I got about 1.5 onion, really small. I got about 2.5 pounds of meat here. You guys are going to get the recipe too, so you can scale it down if you want to make more. So I'm going to cook my onions here for a few minutes. I got about 2 cloves of garlic. As you can see, there's not much water in there because I strain the water through the sieve. Like I say, you want to squeeze all the water from the onions when you mince them. Otherwise, the sausage will get too soggy, too moist. You want to be careful. You don't want to brown them too much, get too much color on the onions. Okay, I'm going to shut it off here. I'm going to take my hands, put them to the side. And now I'm going to cut up the meat so I can grind it here. Okay, I got my KitchenAid mixer here. I got a grinder attachment. I'm going to be using the coarser blade, like the one that has the bigger holes. Okay, because I don't want the meat to be too fine here. So, okay. Attachments here. Okay. Now I'm gonna cut my meat into little strips here. And like I said before, you don't want to take the fat out of there. You want to leave some of the fat in there, so when you cook the meat, it doesn't get too dry. Also, you're going to get a lot of flavor too from the fat. As you can see, there's not much fat in there. It's pretty lean. And again, this was a shoulder, the pork shoulder. Sometimes you're also going to see it's called pork butt, but it's actually the shoulder of the pork. And it's actually much bigger. This is only about half of the normal size. You get 2 pieces, but this is about 2.5 pounds. And the bone is being removed already, so. And again, if you don't want to grind your own, you can always get some ground pork already. But the thing is, when you grind your own, it's fresh, and you know what's in there. Sometimes when you buy it already, ground, you don't know what's in there. But if you have a butcher that you use, like I said before, you can now ask them to, get some meat and grind it for you. Okay, so my cutting board. Remember, you guys want to clean your cutting board with sanitizing solution anytime you use some, raw meat in there. It's very important to do that. Okay, now I'm gonna mix my mixer this way. I'm gonna start grinding the meat here. You can see it's very quick to grind. If you got a machine like this, it's very fast, and you can do a lot of meat in a short amount of time, so you don't have to really worry about too much about that. Okay. Okay, now we got the meat ready to go. As you can see, it's got a real nice fat ratio. You don't have too much fat or too little, so it's like looks really nice. You can see that? It's got some fat in there, which you want to have. Otherwise, if it's too lean, it's gonna be too dry when you cook them. You want to have some nice moisture in the meat, so remember that. Now I'm gonna be adding my onions in here and the rest of the ingredients to make the mix. Okay. Got some onions here. Also got some of my other ingredients already cut up here. I got some fresh sage here. You can also use dry if you want, but I like to use fresh. Has a lot more flavor. Some crushed pepper to give you some nice little heat. I got some fresh thyme here. Some ground coriander seeds, or these are also cilantro seeds. If you have some, if you don't have some ground like this, I did my own. You want to toast them a little bit, and then you grind them in a spice grinder. They really smells really nice when you grind them fresh. And I got some allspice. I did the same thing with my allspice. Okay, so I got all my dry ingredients in there. I need to add some maple syrup, about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now I gotta put some salt in there. And some nice and fresh cracked black pepper. You can use regular pepper if you don't have fresh peppercorns, but I like to grind my own. It's got a nice flavor. It's always better when it's fresh. A little more I like to have nice and some kick from the black pepper. Okay. Now I'm gonna put some cloves on to mix it really well here. So we got all the ingredients in there already. You want to mix everything really nice. One more thing, if you don't want to make this into patties right away, you want to leave it overnight, kind of in a bulk like this, so all the flavors come together. That's fine. I'm gonna do the patties right now because we don't have a lot of time. So, but other than that, like if you're at home, you can leave it in a bowl like this, and let the flavors come really good together, and then you can next morning make the patties. So you can do them like right away, and you can also freeze them. There's a few ways to do the patties. I mean, I'm gonna make one by one, but you can also roll it into like a log with some plastic film, and then you can put it in the freezer for about 45 minutes. Before it gets hard all the way through, you can slice it with your knife, into little wheels. That way they're nice and even, and you can do them all at once. But again, you don't want to wait too long and get it really frozen solid, otherwise it's very hard and dangerous. So I would recommend kind of doing them the way I'm going to do it right now, because I don't want you to cut yourselves. As you can see, the mix is really nice now. Okay. You can also use your mixer with that paddle to mix all the ingredients in there, but if you don't have a lot, I just don't like to get everything good. I'd rather do it by hand. But if you have a big amount, if you have like more than this, you can also use that. Okay. So our mix is ready to go. I got a piece of parchment paper here. I'm going to be making the patties. And also, if you want to use like a scoop like this to make sure they're all the same size, or you can weigh them. You can weigh them, with a scale, or use a scoop. To me, a scoop is much quicker. That way you don't have to, you kind of make them the same size. And it's much easier that way. But if you want to weigh them in the scale, that's fine too. Okay. You can see there. And you want to dip it in water, otherwise the meat's gonna stick to the scoop. So, okay. Now you kind of want to get your fingers a little wet. You can also use some oil if you want to put your fingers in some oil. The way the meat's not going to stick to your fingers, or you can just get them wet with some warm water. It works well too. So, also if you don't have a little ring like this, you can make them by hand. I mean, I just got a little mold here that I have, so they're nice and round. But if you don't, that's okay. You can also make them by hand, like making a hamburger patty too. You see that? If you're gonna freeze them like this, you wanna make sure you get them a little frozen before you stack them. Otherwise, I'll put some wax paper in between. Otherwise, if they freeze like this, they're gonna stick together. It's gonna be really hard to get them apart. Okay, I wanna get the mold a little wet on the sides. Otherwise, the meat's gonna start to stick to the sides of the little ring here. So you wanna get a little wet. Okay. I'm only gonna make a few. I'm not gonna make them all, but I just want to give you guys an idea. See? It's really easy to make them. Now you don't have to, buy the stuff at the store. You can make them yourself, and it's really simple. As you can see, there's only a few ingredients that go into it. You can use them to make a nice breakfast, or entree, or some sandwich. I'm gonna be cooking some eggs in a little bit for you guys to show you. But again, it's really easy, as you can see. You got nice patties form here, and now you're able to like put them away, let them all come together, or cook them. You know, I'm gonna cook some to show you. But again, I would like put them in the refrigerator before you cook them to kind of, you know, a little solid. Then we take them out and cook them after that. So. As you can see, very quick. It's not that complicated to make them. I'm gonna get my non-stick pan here. I'm gonna add very little oil here. It's just some clarified butter, so they don't stick right away. Because there's gonna be some fat coming from there. As soon as the meat starts to cook, the fat's gonna start to render. So you don't want to put too much oil to cook them. It's always best to let them kind of freeze a little bit, otherwise they won't stick to the paper. Okay. Use my knife to scoop them out of here. Okay. Just want to put this back in here. I'll be able to fit her in there. Crack a couple eggs here. You wait to cook them, like if you let it sit for a while, like overnight, it's going to taste much better tomorrow. It's like making a soup. Once the flavors kind of combine, you're going to allow all the flavors and the herbs to come out right away. You know, you're now going to smell all the wonderful aromas. But like I say, if you let it sit overnight, it's going to be a better idea for you guys to do it at home. As you can see, there's some oil starting to come out of there. Once they begin to cook, the oil is going to render. So you don't need a lot of oil to start cooking the patties. Otherwise, it's going to be way too much fat in there. And you don't want that. Got some berries I'm going to use for my breakfast here, my eggs. You guys can do whatever you want at home. Just giving you an idea, you know, for your breakfast, but you don't have to do this that I'm doing right now. If you want to make a sandwich with the patties, it's fine, like an English muffin sandwich with some eggs and some cheese. Got a nice flour here for my garnish. Once we're ready, the one thing is going to be nice, if you let it freeze, like I was telling you before, you want to roll it into a little log and let them freeze, you're going to get some really nice and smooth when you make it the cuts, because you can use your knife and they won't look like that. They're going to be really nice and smooth like the ones you buy at the store. That's how they get them to be like that. Almost done here, a couple more minutes. I'll make sure that's done all the way. And these are pretty lean. You can see there's not a lot of fat in there. The ones you buy at the store, they have a lot more fat because obviously they want to, make more money when they sell them to you. So I like to make them myself because that way you can control how much fat's in there. If you think the meat has way too much fat, you can trim some off. But again, you need a little fat in there to keep the meat nice and moist. Also, it gives more flavor too. Almost done here. Side. Put a little towel on top so the pan keeps a little warm. I want to cook some eggs real quick here for you guys. Got my plate ready here. Some of my eggs come out. I just put them in here and ready to go. As you can see, this is very simple to make this patties. You can also, make them into a sausage. You can get the casings and stuff them. But again, I just wanted to show you that making the patties is really easy. It's not hard at all. So I just want you guys to make sure that you can make a lot of stuff at home. Sometimes we think that it takes a lot of time. Doing some of this cooking. To be honest with you, not really. As you can see, I was able to do this in a very short amount of time. So I'm really, I know you guys can do it at home too. And it's great to be able to make a lot of homemade dishes, and some of the stuff that we take for granted that we buy all the time at the store. And to be honest, it's no need for that. Okay, my sunny side up eggs are done here. Let's see here. Now I got my patties I'm going to be adding to my dish real quick here. As you can see, they're nicely done. Okay. And we're all set. As you can see, we're able to make a nice breakfast here. I hope you guys enjoy this session, and I'm really happy for you guys being here this morning. I see you next time. Thank you very much.